The notion that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus is a concept that may seem far-fetched to many, but it is an idea that has been circulating in certain circles, particularly among some Christian communities. According to this line of thinking, the forces of evil, led by Satan, are working to destroy the earth and everything in it, including humanity, as a way to thwart God's plan and undermine the teachings of Jesus Christ. Proponents of this idea argue that the Bible warns of a time when the earth will be ravaged by natural disasters, wars, and other catastrophic events, which they believe is being brought about by human activities that contribute to global warming. They point to passages such as Revelation 11:18, which speaks of God's wrath being poured out on the earth, and Matthew 24:7, which mentions nations rising against nations and earthquakes in various places. They claim that the increasing frequency and severity of natural disasters, such as hurricanes, droughts, and wildfires, are signs that the earth is being ravaged by the forces of evil. Moreover, they argue that the push for environmentalism and the reduction of carbon emissions is, in fact, a clever ruse by Satan to distract humanity from the true message of salvation through Jesus Christ. They claim that the focus on saving the planet is a form of idolatry, where people are putting their trust in human efforts to save the earth rather than in God's plan of redemption. They point to the fact that many environmentalists and scientists are advocating for policies that promote population control, abortion, and other practices that are morally repugnant to Christians. Furthermore, they argue that the idea of global warming is being used to promote a globalist agenda, which seeks to undermine national sovereignty and promote a one-world government. They claim that this is part of a larger conspiracy to create a new world order, which would be opposed to the values and principles of Christianity. They point to the fact that many world leaders and organizations, such as the United Nations, are advocating for global cooperation and governance to address the issue of climate change. However, critics of this idea argue that it is a form of conspiracy theory that has no basis in fact. They point out that the overwhelming scientific consensus is that global warming is a real and pressing issue that requires immediate attention and action. They argue that the idea that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus is a form of denialism that distracts from the real issues and prevents people from taking action to address the problem. Additionally, critics argue that the Bible teaches people to be good stewards of the earth and to care for creation. They point to passages such as Genesis 1:28, which gives humanity dominion over the earth, and Psalm 24:1, which states that the earth is the Lord's. They argue that taking care of the earth and reducing our impact on the environment is a moral and spiritual imperative that is in line with the teachings of Jesus. In conclusion, while the idea that global warming is a satanic mission to undermine Jesus may seem far-fetched to many, it is an idea that has been circulating in certain circles. However, it is an idea that is not supported by scientific evidence and is based on a flawed interpretation of the Bible. Rather than promoting conspiracy theories and denialism, Christians should be promoting a message of hope and redemption through Jesus Christ, while also taking care of the earth and promoting sustainability and environmental stewardship. By doing so, we can fulfill our moral and spiritual obligation to care for creation and promote a better future for all humanity.